Holly Dickman, Water Conservation Specialist for the City of Hays. And tonight I'm going to give the program update for 2019. So kind of a recap of what happened in 2019 and kind of looking forward into 2020. And I always like to start out by showing a drought monitor just to kind of give us an indication of where we are right now. We're really in pretty good shape as of right now, but in a recent presentation I gave, I showed this picture from 2012, which indicates that we were in okay position at that time, but within a matter of months, we were in this position. So just goes to show that things can change really quickly. So it's always important to remember that. This was a year that we received less than 15 inches of rain for that entire year, so I remember that very clearly. This is a picture of a drought outlook for our area. That's good through April 30th. And as you can see right now, we are in good shape. So hopefully with the moisture we've been receiving, we will continue that trend through the growing season. Just to recap, 2018 was the third wettest year on record, according to the 30-year average, and 2019 was very wet as well. We were well above average, but just to give you perspective, we were still over 7 inches above average, yet we were not nearly what we had in 2018. So things were a little bit less, but still in great shape. Moving into rebate programs for 2019, toilet rebate, again, was the most popular rebate program that we have. Definitely one that I get a lot of rebate forms coming in for. In 2019, we had 347 total toilets replaced. There was 449 in 2018, but I will note that a hotel had replaced 98 of those in 2018, so that accounts for some of that difference there. The majority, or 62% of those toilets that were rebated, were for the most efficient toilet you can purchase in Hays, which is your 0.8 gallon per flush toilet. So that's an increase over 2018, that toilet's becoming more popular, I think. And as you can see, potential water saved, 8.3 acre feet.
Holly, can I interject something?
Yes.
So just for the sake of the new commissioners,
Yes.
to add an additional acre foot of water is going to cost us about $15,000 an acre foot. For example, the R9 project. So when Holly says we can save 8.3 acre feet with a $37,000 investment, that's a pretty good deal for us, because you also don't have your ongoing production cost of the new source.
Thank you for bringing that up. And I did actually calculate that. I don't have it on the screen, but at 15,000 an acre foot, it's about $124,500.
Wow.
So, going into the washing machine rebate program, in 2019, we had 85 total replaced, which was less than in 2018. 95% of those, however, were integrated water factor of 3.2 or less. So to stipulate for, or to qualify for the rebate, at that time it was 3.7 or less was the required integrated water factor. And so the majority of them were well above, or well below that, I should say. Again, potential water saved, 2.8 acre feet. I'll bring up right now, new for 2020 with the washing machine rebate, is that we did increase the rebate for those 3.2 integrated water factor or less to $250. And I don't know if the last month and a half are any indication, but I see more of those rebates coming in right now. So that was the whole goal, was to get a little more participation. Right now it seems like it's doing its job. We'll see as the year goes on. Didn't want to eliminate that $100 rebate for the 3.7 to 3.3 integrated water factor. But really the majority of the machines you buy nowadays are under that 3.7 unless it's a top load type machine. Talking about turf conversions, 2019 was a great year for turf conversions. I promoted it a lot. We had great weather. It rained at the right times in 2019. So we had 21 total conversions in 2019, which accounted for over 41,000 square feet converted total. And we only had 9 in 2018. But as you recall, the weather in 2018 just wasn't that great for turf conversions. Since with turf conversions, they have a year to get that conversion completed. So we do have some pre-inspections that were done in 2019 that are still pending. And so that's what the pending conversions square footage is listed there. New for 2020, going into what's new here real quickly. For the turf conversion rebate, we did go ahead and increase that square footage maximum to 3,000 square feet for 2020. Main goal there is those straight turf to turf conversions are really beneficial as far as water savings go, and that is a little bit of a more incentive sometimes to get those people to switch over to a warm season turf grass or drought tolerant landscaping of some kind, and maybe help with the costs associated with that. I know I had a homeowner that was concerned about water bills during that time to get the conversion done and things like that. So upped it to 3,000 square feet. Something very new for 2020 is we will be offering a buffalo grass seed rebate. So we will pay $10 per pound of buffalo grass seed, and I will have to go through the same process as I do for the turf conversion currently. So there will be a pre-inspection where I will go and inspect the lawn, make sure they qualify. They have to have full sun. They have to have good conditions for buffalo grass to grow to qualify. And then I will do the measurements and tell them how many pounds of buffalo grass seed they will need. Seeding rates for that are much, much lower than your typical cool season turf grass. So it might only be 1 to 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet versus 7 or 8. But we will go ahead and try that this year. I don't know how it will work out, but all the rebate details can be found at watersmarthays.com if you have more questions about that.
What is the going price for buffalo grass?
Good question. Buffalo grass is typically a very expensive grass seed, and so it depends on your source. I know some guys buy it in bulk, you know, the contractors and things, and they may pay $10 to $12 a pound, but generally if you're buying it at one of the big box stores or one of the local retailers, that might be up to $28 a pound or more. So, showerhead program, of course, we've had this for many, many years, and 2019 was a good year for showerheads too. We had 242 total distributed, and again, acre feet saved potentially with that 4.9. I do believe some of the increase here was we did distribute those at basketball game that I'll talk about in a few minutes, but we had a couple of those events where we handed out showerheads. Next, I'll move into education and outreach. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk about everything on this list, but it's just simply to show that it's communication. So in all shapes, forms, all different methods. This is just a laundry list of things that were done in 2019. One of the biggest benefits, I think, was the ability to direct people directly to that WaterSmart Hays website. And I appreciate so much the ability to go in and actually update this page when I need to, make additions and changes. And in talking with IT, we were in the top 10 of city pages visited. So, I think that's great. We're up there with police and some of those types of pages. So bids, things like that. But hopefully we can do more work with that in 2020. I'm going into some of the events. We did sponsor in conjunction with KSU Watersheds a Fort Hays basketball game back in February of last year. Over 3,500 people attended, and we gave out those showerheads and things like that and educational information. One of the nice things is that both teams, men's and women's, were wearing shirts that had "Do Your Part, Be Water Smart" and kind of promoting the City of Hays message through that. Going into traditional media and digital media, I'm not going to read these numbers to you. You can see them, but a lot of that takes place in the water conservation program. So, when you start adding up those numbers, it even surprises me sometimes how many total TV spots aired and total radio spots aired. The digital media with the banner ads and things, those are typically directed right back to the website or to a specific document, whether it's a toilet rebate form or something like that. And just to give you a couple examples, many of you have seen some of these, but these are some of the digital ads that were used in 2019 through various outlets. And just very basic general information, but they click back and can get more information that way. Social media, very much used in water conservation. And now you can follow us on all three of these. Last year it was just Facebook and Twitter. Now we're on Instagram.
Nobody running that, right?
Not going to say that we're real active on Instagram yet, but we're working on it. And any of these you can find us easily if you go to @WaterSmartHays. And just a couple of examples. Again, 2019, this was a very popular post. People see that and they share that one quite a bit. Again, promoting turf conversions. It's helpful if you know what qualifies. This yard qualifies for sure. So trying to promote that. Just simple messages, trying to get the word out any way we can. And again, we try to partner with EPA WaterSense or Irrigation Association. They have July as Smart Irrigation Month, so trying to target some education in those areas as well. Going into some of the educational events, World Water Day Fun Fest. It was the second day for this. This is an event that we hold at Sternberg Museum in the lobby. And during spring break, we tried it a couple years ago and it worked well, so we did it again. And once again, it was a success. We had almost 300 people come through. And this is a workshop or a program that would not be possible without community partners. So we had the environmental office, and we had extension office, master gardeners, others in the community that helped with this event. And so going around and looking at displays, participating in crafts and things related to water conservation. And of course, the Water Resources Department staff was a big part of this as well. And so just a few more pictures from that. One thing that I participated in 2019 was the Fort Hays Ag Day. And this is an event that takes place on their quad. And I was just there to provide information, talk about mulch, name that turf grass. A lot of people couldn't name that turf grass, but we tried it. So talking about mulch and just trying to be, again, where people are and talking about anything water conservation related. Spring Art Walk, another highly attended event. And so Stacy Menson and I partnered together on this, and we provide information along with root beer and cookies. And the main purpose of this is to highlight the posters that we have through our water poster contest, which is truly art. So we always display those, and we have a lot of people stop by and take a look at those and check those out. And then we also have some giveaways. Toilet on the sidewalk was a huge conversation piece, as you might imagine. So it catches people's eye. And of course, Water Smart Wally was there, and he's always a popular attraction. One new thing that we did in 2019, I partnered with Parks Department and Jeff to do some mulch loading events. We're always promoting mulch for water conservation, organic matter, those sorts of things. So we did one in June and one in September, and the one in June was highly successful. The one in September, not so much, but it was still a good event to get the word out. And we had one of the parks employees there to load people up with mulch. And if you've ever had to do that yourself, you know that's a good benefit to have someone there to load it for you. Go Truck Go, getting into the fall now. This is an event that Early Childhood Connections puts on. This year it was outside, highly attended, tons of small children and families there. Water Smart Wally, again, hugely popular. I played a little game with the kids, flush it or trash it. Sounds very simple, but the little ones loved it. And of course their parents are there, so you can talk about flushable wipes and those things that are not things that you want to put down the toilet. We participated in Wild West Fest Parade this year, as well as the Fort Hays Homecoming Parade. So again, Water Smart Wally was there, and we handed out little messages encouraging people to be water smart, along with our information about how to find our website and things like that. Water festivals, participate in those as well. And again, reaching out to your middle school kids, 6th and 7th graders primarily. And we play a game called Water Smart Grudge Ball, where we do water trivia and gets the kids engaged because we're playing games and stealing raindrops from the other team. So that's always a popular game with them and gets them involved. Once again, in 2019, I had the opportunity to send toilet dye tabs home with every elementary student in Hays. And that was over 1,800 of those. And so I couldn't do this without good helpers to help staple dye tabs to every single one of those little sheets of paper that tell you how to do that. But the main goal there is to promote Fix a Leak Week, which is an EPA WaterSense supported program, and it helps get the word out about how to test for those things. And it's fun to read some of the comments that come back on that. We also do some radio trivia and give out some prizes through that whole week. Another thing that I got to participate in this year that I hadn't in the past was Kids Ag Day, which is sponsored by Farm Bureau. And so this was out just south of town, but I was there to have a station about water and talked about the water cycle and that there is no new water and where water comes from, which, by the way, the number one answer I got was the water tower. So there's some education to be done there, and we did that day, but it was all fifth graders in USD 489. So that was a good opportunity, and hopefully we'll get to participate in that again this year. And of course, when I can, when I get invited, I go into the schools. This was Lincoln Elementary School, fourth grade class. Talked about water conservation, what they could do, and we played Water Smart Bingo or Water Conservation Bingo, which was a big hit with those kids. Again, there's so many more things I could talk about, but I know you don't want me here all night. So, but Water Smart Landscape Awards and things like that, other presentations. In 2020 and beyond, kind of continuing what we've been doing. I really would like to build up the web pages. That's one of my goals for the Water Smart Landscaping side of things, and just continue to build on those, try to go where the people are, and get the word out as we can. Work with Stacy Minson again on the water poster contest and art walk and other things like that. And just continue to look for new ways to save water within the city and try to help educate others about how to do that. So if you have any questions.
You know, Holly, I hear as much about what you do with water education in this community than I do as any other department and any other thing that's going on. When you get kids involved, they are talking about it all the time, and you have really done an outstanding job. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
I would agree. I mean, when you hear the radio, just the commercials, you're asking people to conserve, but it's very positive. And that's the thing I hear is, you know, it's not so negative about, oh, you need to do this, and it's just a way of life here. And I really like the Facebook. I see it on, you know, the newspaper, Hayes Post, and it's really good stuff. I mean, it's everywhere you look, you see it, and it's the right thing to do. So great job to you and your team.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Holly.